Hi everyone, my name is Marco. I'm the Business Development Manager with Deco Network, and I'm here with Heath from Codesi. Heath, how you doing?
Very nice to meet you.
Awesome. Heath, I am here at your new location, your new West Coast office, and Heath, we've been getting a lot of requests from people that want to know about the t-shirt printing business. What does it take to get started? Some of the equipment. Obviously, you guys are distributors for DTG here in America, right? And so I was wondering if you could maybe just kind of give us a walkthrough on starting your own t-shirt business and what kind of equipment is required and how fast or how difficult it is to do that.
Okay. Yeah, then we'll go through. We'll show you basically the start to finish of what it is to create a T-shirt and everything like that. Plus, show you the easy integrated tools that Deco Network offers to the small businesses and things like that to get them started. To basically streamline their process so that way they can maximize their profitability.
Fantastic. Now, is it hard to start a business? You know, any startup now, it's time consuming, it's costly, it takes 6 months to get going. What about with the garment printers? Has it become easier, or what's the...
With the technologies and the equipment, it has definitely become easier over the past 7-8 years since the technology came out to the public and everything. With these new technology, it definitely makes it a lot easier. It's one of the quickest startup businesses in America right now.
Oh, really?
And it's a really simple process, yeah. And we'll actually go through step by step to kind of show you what it is to create these type of garments and things like that.
And nice part about it, it's not really a niche market because everybody needs t-shirts, right? Everybody wants shirts, so you're really everybody's a potential client of yours. Okay, fantastic. Well, why don't we get started? If you would show us the process, because I'm sure there's a process to doing this, right?
Oh yes, yeah. You have to basically pre-prep the shirts, depending on if you're printing on lights or dark fabrics. Then going through the design aspect, creating your logos or printing an existing logo from a client of some sort, and then taking it from there and printing it and finishing it out.
All right, fantastic. Well, why don't we start off?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start prepping a shirt or pre-treating a shirt for a dark shirt type print. With these technologies, the way they've grown over the past few years, they've actually given us the ability to do dark shirt printing. Actually having the ability to print with white ink, which is kind of unheard of a couple years back. Being able to produce a mineral that actually goes through a nozzle of a print head. But we've kind of mastered it now. So there's two ways to actually do these pre-treatment processes. You can use a machine to do them, depending on if you're doing higher volumes and things like that, or you can do the manual process as well. The manual process is basically using a Wagner sprayer. You can create like a little booth, and we'll just lay the shirt up here. And we'll use our Wagner sprayer to spray our pre-treatment onto the garment. Little foam roller to smooth it out. And that's a pre-treated shirt. Pretty simple process. It takes about 10 seconds. And then now that's going to be ready for the white ink printing. The second way to pre-treat is using an actual pre-treat machine. We sell the Lawson pre-treat machine. What it basically does is uses air pressure and force it through a nozzle. So you would load your shirt up onto the garment, or up into the machine, slide it in. You have a preset timer. You hit your start button. Sprayer comes forward. Spraying the shirt, pull it out, pre-treated shirt. It's a lot more accurate and a lot quicker. Okay, so after we've pre-treated the shirt, we have to now pre-prep the shirt for printing. Cotton shirts by their nature are real fuzzy, so they have a tendency to have that fuzz sticking up, and then when you paint it with white ink on top of it, that fuzz is still sticking up. So it'll leave spots in your prints and stuff that is undesirable. So what we'll do is take that pre-treated shirt that we just did, lay it up here on the heat press. Take a piece of our release paper, just to kind of protect it, and press it for about 30-45 seconds. And now we have a prepared shirt. Alright, so after we've pre-pressed our shirt after the pre-treating process, we'll bring it over to our shirt board. Our shirt board, this is our exclusive tuck lock system. It basically holds the shirt down so you're only leveling the shirt to the machine and not to a ring that is placed over top of it. So we'll take our shirt up here, lay it on top. It's real easy to square it up to make sure it's even. Tuck it in the top. And you're basically just spreading the shirt out. You're not trying to stretch it or anything to that order. Take the excess, tuck it underneath, and this is ready to print. We'll take it over here, place it onto the machine. And we'll get ready to print. Next thing we'll do, we'll bring it up so that way it goes up to the gap laser, so that way it has the perfect distance between the print head surface and the actual shirt itself. And then we'll hit load. The machine that we're actually loading this into is the DTG M2. This is the newest in the line of the DTG family. It's been designed from the ground up. It's not based off of Epson technology. We built this as a purpose-built printer for t-shirt printing. Some of the main features that we do for this printer is a sturdier frame, so that way it guides back and forth smoothly. We're also printing on an X-axis versus a Y-axis, so it doubles our production. All the different components in the machine are very easy to get to, so if any kind of repairs or anything need to be done, they can be done in a timely manner, so that way production can begin again and the money start rolling in again. Alright, so now that we have this ready to print, we will go over and start working on our graphic side. Alright, the next step in the process is basically choosing a piece of artwork and sending it over to the printer. The program that I'm using here today is called Photoshop. It's one of the national standards when it comes to graphic arts. You're not limited to using this program only. You can use pretty much any graphic software that's out there on the market, as long as it has the ability to output in certain graphic formats. Alright, it does make a difference, the quality of the images. Bad in, bad out, that same analogy. But if you do have a high resolution graphic, we usually generally try to keep it around 300 dpi, so that way once we bring it into our RIP software, we'll be able to size it without degrading the actual image itself. Alright, so now that I have my image prepared and ready, I'm going to go ahead and minimize Photoshop. I will import those images into my RIP software. I can do this directly out of Photoshop if necessary, or I can just add them within the software. Once I have them in the software, then I can select them, move them around to different places. I can stretch them out to make them larger. Right now we're going to do this, or I can do it by an actual particular size. I'm going to do this one at 10.5 inches wide. 5, hit enter. Boom, there we go. I'm going to tell it how far down on the shirt I want it to print. I'll say 3 inches. Enter. So now we're ready to go. So I can either rip the job before printing it, so that way I can check my ink cost if I wanted to, or if I'm ready and prepared, I can just select the image itself and hit print. This ripping process you only have to do it one time. Once it is ripped, it will save that spooled file into a job reserve, so that way if you have to do repeat printing or anything like that, you don't have to wait through this processing. You also have the ability to archive jobs, so that way if you have repeat customers and things like that, you can repeat that same job without having to remember all the different settings. So, once the job has been sent to the printer, the machine will receive it and start printing the job. On dark garments, it does have to print a white underbase first, meaning that it has to have a white undercoating, so that way the color going on top of it will have something to reflect off of, making the colors pop. So if you come up here, you can actually see the printer laying down this white ink. You'll also notice that it is not printing a solid white underbase. We have come to find out that if you treat your white as a graphic instead of just as an underbase, you will get much more efficiency, lesser print cost, and quicker print times as well. After it finishes the white underbase, the machine will automatically retract the shirts back into the machine and put all the colors on it at the same time. And then we will have a finished garment. While this is printing this color layer, I was going to show you some of the other features that this machine has that kind of separates it from other machines on the market. Back here in the back are two of the key features that we have. First, you have a pressurized CMYK. We have a bulk ink system, so we have bottles instead of cartridges. So that way you can buy your ink in bulk and just add it in there. And then we also pump air pressure through a tube connecting each one of these bottles to give it the benefits of a pressurized cartridge, but also keeping the benefits of a bulk system as well. Over here is our WIMS system. WIMS stands for Lighting Management. We have a motor on the top as well as a circulation motor. The motor on the top is connected to a paddle stir. The paddle stir stirs the white ink within the reservoir, and then the circulation motor actually circulates it through the ink tubes that go up past the head and then return back to the bottle. This basically addresses the clogging issues that white ink has. Okay, so once the shirts have completed printing, the ink is still wet when it comes off the machine, but then we'll take it, put it back on our heat press, and give it a curing. Once it is cured, the garment is ready to be sold. So what we're going to do now, the shirt has just finished printing, so we're going to place this over here on the heat press. You have the choice of the way you want it to look. You can use parchment paper to give it a smooth matte finish. You can use a release paper or a Teflon sheet to give it a shiny finish, or you can use indirect pressure to give it more of a rougher hand, sort of like screen printing. So it's good to have options though. It depends on what your customers want. So we'll place our paper up here, we'll press it. Timer's preset, it'll automatically release when it's done. One of the things I did want to show you is what that particular print job cost us to do. So within our RIP software, after the job's been printed, we can right click on it and go into its costing properties. So for this particular image, it costs 61 cents to print that Mustang. So if you keep that in mind with maybe a $2 to $3 shirt charge, that gives you a pretty good margin to either sell at wholesale or to sell at retail. Some retail shirts go from anywhere from $15 to $25. So if you do the math, it's a pretty good little small business to run.
Hey Heath, I want to thank you very much for hosting us. I learned a lot. It's actually pretty exciting. It's really simple to do. I didn't realize how quick it is, and it can be very profitable. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem, Mark.
Right. Thank you very much.
Great to see you again.
Likewise.